y'all? Welcome to a day in the life of a biomedical engineering research assistant. So I'm going into the lab right now and I'm bringing y'all with me. The absolute worst part about working in Boston is finding parking.
So right here, I'm just catching up on some emails and drinking my yerba mate. Yerba mate is the best. I have to make some adjustments to the SolidWorks assembly because we have new screws and nuts that we're going to use. Here I'm measuring the screws diameter with calipers. And I'm also measuring the acrylic plate that we'll be laser cutting with calipers as well to figure out the thickness. And I'm writing everything down, making sure I have everything noted. I already adjusted the CAD files to match the thickness of the acrylic plate and the diameter of the new screws we'll be using, so now I'm just preparing the files to be exported for our laser cutter. The new file type is a DXF file, and it's going to be a front view of the acrylic plate. And here I'm just reviewing my notes, going over everything. I always note take when I go to lab to make sure I have everything documented. These are the steps I have to take to prepare the file for the laser cutter to read it properly. Most laser cutters use Adobe Illustrator. I'm also using the laser cutting software to adjust the file further, making sure I have the thickness of the acrylic plate noted into the file, and setting up the laser cutter to start. And this is our laser cutter in action, printing the base plate. There's a little time lapse to speed things up. And now I'm preparing the top acrylic plates in the same manner that I did for the base plate, making sure that I have the correct material loaded into the software as well as the thickness of the acrylic. And here I'm just double checking to make sure that the changes that I made were saved. And I'm checking the inside of the laser cutting bed to make sure that there are no obstructions and to start this little trial run. I think laser cutters are freaking dope, so if you think so too, please leave a little comment showing some appreciation for this laser cutter helping me work. And don't forget to like the video to support the channel. And here I'm using calipers to measure the width of all the nuts that I'm using on the screws. And using this width, I can find the correct screws and nuts on McMastercard so I can download the CAD files and import them into the new assembly that I created so I can see if it all fits together perfectly. And here I'm just importing the screw and the nut, mating everything together, and I'll show you that whole process in a bit. It's also time lapse because I know some people have a short attention span, but here I'm showing that the first nut and the screw is mated properly, so they're attached to the bottom base plate. Look at that fitment, it looks crazy good. And that top acrylic plate can raise up and down freely. And now here I'm showing that I finally mated the nut to the screw correctly, so it actually screws and unscrews when you raise or lower that top acrylic plate, and I think it looks so cool. So I took that first assembly with all the mates of that first screw with the 3 nuts, and I created a sub-assembly with that, and now I'm using that to copy that whole sub-assembly with the mates onto all the other holes without going through the process of repeating all of the steps for every single hole, because there are 8 different holes with 8 different screws and 24 different nuts, and that would take hours and hours to mate everything and insert everything properly. So I'm just pretty much using a shortcut that I had just learned because I'm also really new to SolidWorks. I've only been using it for around a year, and I don't have like a mechanical engineering background or anything like that, so I'm learning everything on the fly, and I think I did pretty well, so I'm pretty proud of myself. If you think I could have done this quicker, please leave a comment below teaching me how to do it. And here's the completed assembly. Alright, so I finished updating the CAD. I finished adjusting all the measurements, the hole sizes, the thickness of the plates, imported new screws. I did everything for the CAD. I also set up all these screws with 3 nuts each. And then, so I have 8 of them, actually 9, just in case one breaks or something like that. And then I also laser cut the plates, the acrylic plates. So everything should match my CAD design. So now I'm gonna build everything and make sure it works as intended. So now we assemble. It's gonna be this. Ooh, I forgot to peel off the paper. All right, I finally got the little lip up. And I know people like the little ASMR thing, so there you go. That's what I'm building. It's pretty cool. All right, so this is one side, I gotta do the other side. All right, so I just took the paper off, all of them. Nice big stack of paper, throw this away. Now we start assembly. So, I'm gonna clamp both sides. Clamped on both sides. And then we're gonna put one more nut, just because the plate's gonna, so basically the plate's gonna sit on top, like this. And that nut on the bottom is gonna hold it, and then one more to clamp it on the other side. All right, so I pretty much finished it. This is what it looks like right now. I accidentally put a nut on the other side of all of them. So I actually did this twice, because I put the nut over here, and it's not supposed to be on this side of it. It's supposed to be on this side of it to lock it, with one nut here and then another nut on top for the top plates. So you can imagine how long it took me to undo all of them and then redo them. It's done. Now, the whole purpose of having this plate is so I can put, find the ones I was using. So I can put these bubbles on top of it like this. So what I need to do, I need to figure out exactly how high these bubbles are so I can adjust all the nuts to fit that. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this little wall right here and put a piece of tape where the bubble is. So actually what I'm doing now is applying some Loctite to the bottom ones, because they're not gonna move at all. And when we screw and unscrew the top, they kind of move around. So I'm just applying some Loctite so they stay pretty stiff. So like I applied it right there, and now I'm just screwing this back down. So they should not unscrew while I'm messing with the platform. So I'm just gonna do that for the rest of the holes. All right, now these are all stationary. They're not moving, they're not going nowhere. My fingers are cooked from the Loctite. So I have this set up, so that's kind of exactly where the bubble starts. So I'm gonna bring these nuts all the way down to this line. All right, everything is done. The plates are set. They are pretty much flush with the bubbles. So just a little bit about what this lab is trying to accomplish. If you wear a compression sleeve or some kind of prosthetic, you have something compressing your skin and kind of like, it gets uncomfortable after a long period of time. So what we're trying to do is create these silicone bubbles like this that compress and expand. And what these are gonna do is they're gonna sit on your skin, kind of like this. And they'll compress and expand to create little, some kind of like little pressure on your skin to like itch or like relieve some of that compression pain, or kind of the the discomfort that you would feel from having a compression sleeve or something compressing your skin for a long period of time. So this is gonna sit on your skin, I think this way. And so what I'm doing is I'm building these silicone bubbles and testing them with this, with a load cell. So what we wanted to do with this test fixture is have the bubbles compressed on both sides and only test the bubble that's in the middle. And I mean, you can move this kind of like this way now. So like, for example, if we're testing the first bubble, we're gonna slide these underneath. So now the first bubble's in the middle and the other two bubbles are under this platform. So all of the bubbles are connected in this array. And it's through this circuit here that you'll essentially have this tubing go into one of the bubbles, and all of the bubbles will inflate because there's a pressure motor right here, pressure motor, connected to an Arduino, connected to a pressure sensor, connected to a switch, and then the output is right here, which is connected to the bubbles. And so what we're trying to do is test, because all three bubbles inflate when the tube is connected to either of the bubbles, because they're all connected with this ridge there. That's a kind of like a silicone tube. These are silicone bubbles. So that ridge is what essentially causes all three bubbles to inflate. And I'll show you guys in a second. I created this based off of this cat. So I modeled it first, sent it to my PI. She said it was good, so I created it. Isn't that crazy? This is a little 3D printed piece that attaches to this side of the load cell to compress the bubble, just so it's more uniform. This goes here. Anyway, this attaches back here. Cool. Now, I use this box as a little platform. I open the program. So this is kind of the setup. You may wonder why I'm using this box. It's to pretty much make that entire circuit board flush with the bubble that's on the load cell, because it doesn't really float. So it has to be on a platform because it's kind of too low and the tubing isn't long enough. And here I'm just aligning everything, and I'm starting the program, making sure all my settings are saved and the program that I wrote for the load cell is correct. And here I'm getting the power supply for the Arduino to power the entire circuit board. So you see how the bubble is kind of pumping? The pump is working on an increment. So like it's a pulse width modulation cycle where it's on and off for like 0.25 milliseconds. And so this button turns it on, the pump pumps the air here, pressure sensor collects the data, and then it pumps to this the bubble. Sometimes it starts tweaking and I have to reset it, but overall, this is what I want right here. Now this is the data for the backmost bubble. As you can see here, that bubble is not connected to the tubing, but it's connected to the other two bubbles. So this plate right here is compressing the two bubbles in the middle, and this load cell is compressing this bubble in the middle, which is where we get this data from. So that's what we want, and then we're gonna do that with the other two bubbles. So what I like to do to this graph is, before I export the data, I'll change the settings here because I want to see more of the data. So I'm going to change it from 7 newtons to 2, and then that looks a lot better because we can see it clearly. And then sometimes the export doesn't work because this computer is old as shit. So I'm going to screenshot this and send me a screenshot just in case. Snipping tool, bear with me. What we're gonna do here is screenshot this whole thing, boom, and then send the screenshot to me. So I arrived at lab today at 12 o'clock noon, and it took me 4 hours to complete everything that you saw in this video. So now this is me just leaving. Don't worry, I went back for my phone. It is hot as hell in here. But yeah, that's pretty much the video. Thank you for watching. That's pretty much a day in the life. So what I'm gonna do now is go to the gym, get a quick workout in, and then go get some food. Today I'm thinking chicken and rice, guys. So yeah, if you like what you watched, if you want to see more of this, if you want to see something different, let me know down in the comments below. So yeah, thank you for watching. Check out my latest video that I posted, I think last week or the week before, which is basically kind of like my story, understanding how I got to where I am. And yeah, see you guys later.